Welcome back to the Cheap Shot Music Podcast. I'm Jack.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Casey.
And we've got some musicians possibly doing some time here in the news, so let's get right into that.
All right.
So, all right, Jack, let's see what Young Thug and Gunna got into trouble with.
So they didn't
big
do themselves any favors, man.
No.
They're involved in this pretty serious RICO accusation, which the actual acronym for the word RICO means Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. It's basically like anti-organized crime, right?
Yeah.
And they were caught basically organizing crime, essentially.
It usually has to do with like money laundering and other
paying
things.
for
yeah.
it.
Yeah, paying for it. Because it usually has to do with financial like foul play, right?
Well,
So,
for
like-
example, Young Thug rented a car and then, the car driving away from the scene of a murder
It
was
was
that
the car.
car.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's stuff like that. They're getting in trouble for helping their friends out. But, I mean,
it's not
yeah,
really helping their friends out. They're
it's
involved
just
in gang activity.
Right.
paying for their friends' gang activity.
And it's
helping
rarely
their
a
friends out.
single offense. It's usually like a bunch that have been compiled by like the FBI.
So it's over 50 charges.
Yeah,
Yeah.
50.
Right,
According
exactly.
to what the prosecutor said, or the attorney general
And
for
not
the county.
Just charges, but murders, correct?
There's quite there's an assortment. So there's
oh yeah.
there's murders accusations, there's drug accusations. Specifically, Young Thug and Gunna were more involved with. Young Thug specifically, he's getting hit for renting the car that was used, like you said, in a drive-by.
Yeah.
Gunna was more, I think, involved with drugs. And the man killed, apparently, allegedly, by the rented car was Donovan Thomas Jr., if that name means anything to anybody.
Nope.
But yeah, it's, I just don't like it because it permeates what Kendrick calls culture. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And so, like, that's why it's interesting that rap lyrics are actually being used as evidence in this trial.
Right.
Yeah, they do a lot of songs together, Gunna and Young Thug.
And, they admit a lot too. So
They're method rapping, right? Like,
you might say. Anyways, Casey, what do we have next?
So I thought another interesting thing to talk about was recently Time Magazine. They do this every year. They put out their 100 most influential people of 2022. And my first off, just reaction is that it is a lot of actors and people involved with filmmaking that are here. There's very few musicians on here. There's very few just real artists, sculptors and painters.
I'm sorry, but actors are not artists.
But it is actors and directors are dominating this list, right? Of the most influential people. Of course, there's politicians. There's, and the big thing to note about this list is Time Magazine. Historically, these aren't necessarily good people or bad people, right? Because Hitler was on the cover of Time Magazine once, and Mao Zedong and all these dictators of history have been on their lists of influential people, right?
Right.
So whether you like these people or not, it doesn't matter. It's the list of their influence and their impact. So people like an artist, there's categories, right? There's artists, innovators, titans, leaders, icons, pioneers, right?
Yeah. And I don't know if they've done this before, but that's the way they're doing it this year.
Yeah, I can't, maybe recently, but I can't remember them doing this before either. And so they're breaking it down into different categories. And the first category, artists, we had Simu Liu. And they were all these people were in every category were nominated by someone else, by another prominent actor, politician,
just celebrity.
Celebrity,
Yeah.
right? So Andrew Garfield by Martin Scorsese, right? Zoe Kravitz by Reese Witherspoon. All actors pretty much and directors. We get down into the innovators. We have Zendaya. We have Taika Waititi, and I mean he's doing everything right now. And then there was our musician. We have Miranda Lambert.
Yep.
We have Titans are Oprah Winfrey and Kris Jenner. Kris Jenner nominated by Ryan Seacrest. Two of the most shallow people on the planet.
Very original.
Whatever. We have some other in icons. We have Mary J. Blige was nominated by Nas, and John Batiste by Quincy Jones. So there's some great Questlove, of course. Questlove, I mean, he's blown up this last year too with his Oscar win for that Summer of Soul, I think it was called. It's that documentary he did. So yeah, we list musicians. Really, there's not a lot of musicians. We have Questlove, Mary J. Blige, Miranda Lambert, John Batiste. That's about it.
I just wish there were more, because I feel like Kendrick would have a really good spot on this list, because especially because of how influential he is for young people, and like how he has a meaningful, good message. It's not just like this carelessness, that
I think the reason he's not on this list, honestly, is because his album just dropped.
True.
And he hasn't done much
in the last 5 years.
Right.
Yeah, right.
So like this list is mostly based on 2021.
I guess, yeah.
And it's 2022 is just when the list is for, but it's not really, because we're not even halfway through 2022 yet, right? So, but Kendrick Lamar, I imagine, would be on it next year, right?
It'd be really cool to have him that way. Speaking of music, let's get into how TikTok is now shaping the music industry.
Yeah.
And this is something that I found really interesting, because, TikTok has its influences, or its sphere of influence rather, is growing larger and larger every day. And it's very interesting how that's now applying to music. So our specific example would be related to Halsey, and how she's made a TikTok about basically her label limiting the release of her song.
Right.
Because there's no viral TikTok campaign.
So, wait. Okay, let me get this straight. She made a video where she complains about the label.
Yes, in a TikTok.
And so the label wants her to make videos that go viral before they release her music, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she made a video complaining about this that went viral.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
So it could even be the video that she uses to promote the song. I don't know, but I doubt it, Her whole feeling about it is like everything is marketing nowadays. And I get where that's coming from too. But there's like a certain degree of marketing that you have to do with any release, right? Obviously, like Kendrick with what he did to his Instagram during the release of his new album is something notable and something viral and a campaign of sorts, right?
Yeah.
And other artists have also made TikTok campaigns for their songs, like The Kid Laroi, Doja Cat, Lil Nas X, especially for artists that are more recent. This is a very common strategy. Now, here's my feeling about this, because so she makes the TikTok and then basically nothing has happened so far. And my issue with this is the wording that gets used by Halsey in this case. And other artists do this too. She's not the only one, but I think when you just, flippantly throw out label or my record label,
it's different than what it used to be.
Right. You're also not naming the target. You're just kind of building up this straw man to tear down and throw your garbage at.
Yeah.
And so it's okay, first of all, as many artists at least should know at this point, that the music industry takes advantage of artists for monetary gain. So it's if you get big enough, you don't have to stay with your label. Prince is a perfect example. He circumnavigated it.
Yeah.
He got out of his contract deal.
And he was stuck in a contract for it was a 5-album contract. And
Yeah.
he wanted to get out after the first album or something. So what did he do? Because he couldn't get out of the contract, he changed his name to the artist formerly known as Prince. People thought he was being all weird and eccentric. No, it was purely a financial,
legal reason,
legal business act to change his name to the artist formerly known as Prince, so that he could get out of his contract and record with a different label.
Exactly. And other artists could do that nowadays and follow suit. And so that's why I think it's almost a little bit lazy to just go, oh, my record label this is
Scapegoat
doing this.
your label.
Yeah. So it's you know what you should do is you should tell us what label this is, so that we don't listen to music from it anymore, or we could protest it in some sort of meaningful way. So I think my conclusion here is I understand where Halsey is coming from, but I feel like there can be more done on their end, to change things, as many artists have done before,
Yeah, because for the example of Kendrick,
Yeah.
he basically didn't have an Instagram before, and then he created his own website, and he goes, the only truth is going to be dropped on these websites of when my album's going to drop. That brought millions of people, traffic going through.
Get clicks, man. Clicks.
And millions
Right.
of it.
And Halsey's big enough to get those clicks.
Yeah.
So it's you don't need the promotional to help you.
But literally just hey, I have a new song out. You're done.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah.
And there's 30 million plays on that song.
But yeah, I mean, she does feel taken advantage of. So.
And I get it.
Yeah.
It's stinky hot garbage what music labels do
Correct.
to artists.
Correct.
Yes.
And so speaking of hot garbage, let's just get into some.
Hot
Hot garbage. Hot garbage. All right, boys. For hot garbage this week, I'm going to throw it to you, Justin. What's going on? What's this week?
Well, it might not be the right one, but it's the one right now.
Oh my God.
Because it's Mr. Right Now featuring Drake by 21 Savage and Metro Boomin.
To a slow song, turn the lights down, lay the pipe down. I ain't Mr. Right, but I'm Mr. Right now. 21.
Turn your phone off, take your clothes off. I'm a sad, but I fuck her to a slow song. Said the nail lady went and did her toes wrong. Said the last man was always playing Drake songs. Yeah, cell phones out when I roll up. Yeah, the nigga had a problem till I showed up. Everybody with an app before they name tough. Yeah, more concerned with
Dude, this song is just funny. He's like,
It took so much effort.
it's 21 just like admitting like, I'm not a good guy, but we could
Yeah, it's a good selling point. Right
Yeah.
Oh,
like-
man. Oh, man. So for the viewers at home, it starts with 21 Savage.
Yep.
And then it ends with Drake having a masterful line. I
One
mean,
line?
That one line, man. Ah, it's so good. And then Metro Boomin on the beat, guys. Woo!
This
You
is a-
like that? You like that hi-hat in the back and that synth?
This is a 2020 Today's Top Hits probably, even
Yeah,
though
it's
we will
October.
throw it in
Yeah.
our hot garbage list
Oh,
probably.
man.
I hate it so much. I hate
Yeah.
it so much.
But it went platinum in the US.
Yeah.
It went platinum.
Big.
197 million plays. That in total, it
What-
is more than Elephant in the Room by Mick Jenkins. This one song has
what
like
is
triple.
wrong with society? What is wrong with people who listen to this garbage so bad? What do they do? Like do they relate to it? Like
Yeah, probably actually in
How?
some
No, it's
shallow
not.
way.
It's not
Is it just the beat,
relating.
like-
It's like, oh, I wish I could be in that situation.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the visceral feeling of like wanting to be something that you're not. You know what I'm saying?
And
I
then
get
these
that.
people rapping and Drake and 21 aren't really like that in real life.
But you know, who wouldn't want to be Drake or 21? You know, to
That's
some
the
people's
point,
minds.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
You know,
it's just okay. I mean, I just hate this rapping style, man.
It's so lazy.
It's so lazy. The words,
Oh,
the
man.
the lines don't rhyme like hardly at all. They're not clever. Like like okay, a song doesn't have to rhyme to be good, right? But at least have clever content or interesting content, something.
Because they're just vibing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's. I'd be surprised. I mean, Drake is like the ghostwriter master, though. He has ghostwriters up the wazoo, man.
I'm sure. Yeah.
So, but I would be
Yeah.
surprised if this was like a written. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was a written song.
Like it's
It just
improvised
doesn't
or
sound like it. Sounds like a free. It sounds
Yeah.
like they're vibing and then just saying whatever
whatever
they can.
comes to their
So,
mind.
Yeah,
like,
whatever they can.
it's like this thing where you can rhyme the end of every line with just and just like anything that kind of sounds like
yeah,
like,
you could probably
works.
do that.
and then 21 does the
Or just-
song.
You could-
Song.
or
and
take
it's
any word and add an to the end of it, and you've got this.
October.
Do you just want me to read some lyrics?
Yeah, let's
Yes,
hear it.
please.
She want me to her to Beyonce straight up, but I don't treat her like she my fiance. On God, make that thing sing like Sadie. I don't know, or Sade. 19.
Sade.
Yeah. Okay.
She's a singer.
Okay. And then 1942. It ain't no Chardonnay. Okay, I get the rhyme there. Still not that clever.
No, I will say Beyonce and fiance. That's not bad. That's not bad. I'll give him that one.
Yeah. Well, that one's interesting too because like 21 has mentioned before in other songs about how he doesn't want to be like committed to people. Like he
Yeah.
mentions it in the song a lot, but like specifically the music video version where he says, "Be a married man. Right now I just can't." It's like, okay.
21 is a family man, though.
Sure.
He is.
Well,
Brings his
he
son
sounds
into the
like it.
studio.
Yeah. So if he takes care of his kids, that's good. You know. A couple more lines. We've got in a lamb truck, yeah, with my Richard on, yeah.
Richard.
Got a pretty girl, 21, that I'm feeling on, 21. We're in quarantine, on God, but my M's long, on God. Buddy lame, he got friend zoned. Got a couple spots and they all owned. Bought a penthouse because I'm never home, on God. Threw my heart out the window, feelings gone. Threw my heart out the window. You know, like
I think this was ghost written. The way you're speaking it right now,
it sounds more Drake-ish.
the way you're speaking it sounds just like someone wrote it to be.
Yeah.
This is gonna be popular because it's all crap.
Yeah. It kind of checks some boxes, you know. I can see that now. It checks some boxes for the people that like this music, you know, this particular style.
Well, it's just commercializing the lifestyle and like selling that essentially. So
I hate it though. I mean, I loathe this tune.
likewise, and it's about damn time that we just be done with this one.
Okay,
And
please,
speaking
God.
of about damn time, let's talk about Lizzo and today's top hits.
All right.
All right, Casey, what do we have for today's top hits?
Well, today we have actually a really great tune. It's by Lizzo called About Damn Time. Let's check it out.
Was or used to be. Bitch, I might be better. Turn up the music, turn down the lights. I got a feeling I'm gonna be alright, okay. Alright, it's about damn time. Turn up the music, let's celebrate. I got a feeling I'm gonna be okay.
Well, it's about damn time. We had a good song
Yeah.
with good instruments
Yep.
on the today's
musicianship.
top hits
Yeah.
list.
Man, this is like, it's catchy. It's funky.
God, I love their bass play. Whoever played the bass on this, man, is such a good bass player
What a
because
great
they,
line.
they know how to play when you need to play and fill
so
in
tasty.
space
Yeah.
and then know when to lay out.
Perfect. It's tasty. Yeah.
That's professional.
great.
The drums are just a solid kind of 4 on the floor
Mm-hmm.
kind of deal. They're just, it's doing its job, right? And then you got this funky ass guitar doing the chicka waka thing, and it's just like, it's this combination, this formula, I should say, that's been around for like 50 years now.
The formula of funk.
The
Yeah.
formula of funk, but it never gets old, man. We've talked about this before.
know, right?
Funk will never die. And you know what's funny is like when artists like get their big hit, their big hit, it's almost always funk.
Because it's so danceable.
Like Bruno Mars, you know, Uptown Funk, you know, like a lot of these artists when they hit it big, it's because they're doing a funk tune. Dua Lipa levitating, right?
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
But now when it's danceable, what happens?
I don't know.
TikTok.
Yeah.
It gets to be a
facts.
TikTok
Yeah,
dance
right.
so easy because they're just like, ooh, let me do the floss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which this song does have a dance with it as well. It's an overall promotion for this song. But for a project put together by a team,
I mean,
or
like a
Lizzo's team,
big team,
Yeah.
it seems like.
Man,
7
it's
writers,
good.
you said?
It's
7.
good.
Yeah, 7 writers.
Does the dance have a name? Like a lot of times a dance has a
Maybe the About Damn
just
Time
About Damn
dance.
Time
I don't
dance.
know. I've just seen it on TikTok. I did my research this week, and I was finding people doing.
it the dab?
dances.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just gotta say though, man, I'm a big fan of Lizzo. I loved her previous stuff. It's
hell
and it's
yeah.
so amazing how it can reach so many different demographics. Because she's like, it's like funky, so people like that, you know. But then it's like it's got some of that like kind of newer hip hop, like trap rap a little bit sometimes, a little bit influence there. She's definitely a rapper too, you know. She just it's not like
her
main deal.
verses are very, very
Yeah.
constructed.
Super rhythmic, you know. So like, and then like just like the construction of the songs are so thoughtful and well played, the musicianship, so that musicians like actual musicians like this music too. So
Right.
it's like reaching so many different audiences in such a positive way. I love it.
And then we can't forget about her flute playing too.
Exactly.
Oh,
Like,
Talk
at
about
the end,
rhythmic.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, the flute, the flautist.
Yeah,
so
dude.
and she's also got an incredible Tiny Desk concert.
Oh,
It's-
nice.
It's amazing.
Great.
But yeah, so I'm all in on Lizzo, man. She's killing it. So
And
Yeah,
I
me
love
too.
the sentiment of the song too. You might say we adore the sentiment of this song. And speaking of that, let's get into the For That We Adore. All right, Casey, why don't you lead us off with For That We Adore this week? Our theme is summertime favorites.
summertime favorites, it being a beautiful time of the year, you know, where it's not too nasty out yet, you know, it's like this early summer, and I'm immediately nostalgic. You know what I mean? When this came up, I always get nostalgic around summertime because all the great times, you know, when you're in high school and it's summer or even younger.
Or just in Minnesota in general.
Yeah, exactly. Because we have like 9 months of we have 9 months of snow and cold, and then we get 3 months of
Yeah, kind of warm.
So obviously memorable times, and I have to throw it to one of my favorite bands of all time, Sublime.
Yep.
And one of my favorite hits by them is Doin' Time. Let's check it out.
Me and my girl, we got this relationship. I love her so bad, but she treats me like a on lockdown like a penitentiary. She spreads her loving all over, and when she gets home, there's none left for me. Summertime, the living's easy.
The classic Summertime.
God, this is so summer '96, man. You know, it's crazy because this album came out, and it was, I think, a week before or after that Bradley died, the lead singer.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He had a heroin overdose, and he was actually trying to kick heroin. And the story is that he had quit heroin, but then he was like getting ready to go on tour or something, and he found an extra stash that he had forgotten about. And he decided to do some in his hotel room, and he died. And
So
it's
tragic.
He was making really good strides, I hear, to kick it. Well, anyways,
Well, let me ask you something about
Yeah.
that, because I've always heard that Bradley Nowell actually kind of started his heroin addiction almost on purpose to be in with Kurt Cobain types. You know what I'm
see,
saying?
I've never heard that.
Okay.
But I do know that he was just into a lot of drugs. I mean, listen to any Sublime album.
Yeah.
Listen to Sublime albums. You know, we sold nitrous opium, acid, heroin, and PCP, and now I hear the police coming after me. They sing about drugs a lot. Right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they mostly sing about weed, especially after he died. It was all about weed because they were like, no more hard drugs, you know, because they lost the band. I mean, he was the band, right? And his voice is so just buttery,
Unique.
beautiful, you
Yeah.
know?
Also, they're gonna catch a RICO case.
Yeah,
So-
they might.
yeah.
Yeah. He's got such a beautiful voice, and it was so underrated, I think. And his songwriting was so personal and real. And it was a lot of reggae, in which I love reggae music, and a lot of hip hop. Obviously, this is a more hip hop influenced type of tune. And then it's all based on a George Gershwin tune called "Summertime."
Yeah, all the way back to the 1920s.
Yeah, I mean we're talking so which is a timeless song. It's been covered. Countless times.
Charlie Parker's done it.
Everyone's
a
covered it.
variety of saxophonists have done it. It's a jazz standard, essentially. Well, Summertime is a jazz standard, but Doin' Time is the interpretation
Yes,
of it, to
because
make it specific.
They're always talking about going to prison and doing drugs, yet also being having love and life because of weed and this song is so great, and there's so many great verses. There's so much great singing. The musicianship is fantastic. There's no more of a quintessential summer song to me than this one. So
I'm gonna add it to my list tonight.
Yeah,
yeah,
agreed.
just the whole album, man.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So that's me, Jack. What have you got for That We Adore?
So the song I picked is not necessarily written about summer, but it was released during the summer. It was a summer hit of the year 2001, and it's "You Remind Me" by Usher.
Let's check it out.
Yeah.
I ain't seen you in a minute, but I got something to tell you. Listen.
See, the thing about you that caught my eye is the same thing that makes me change my mind. Kinda hard to explain, but girl, I'll try. You need to sit down, this may take a while. See this girl,
I mean, this is quintessential R&B from the early 2000s. I actually first learned of this song from this guitar player. I mean, he's on Instagram, he's on YouTube, he's on a number of places. His name is Carrie Too Smooth, and he teaches R&B guitar. And he taught this song on a YouTube video or whatever, and I've been in love with this song since then, because it's it's simple, but it's so tasty, you know, and what you can do to with the R&B style of guitar to this song is just so cool. I'm actually kind of trying to make it a little chord melody.
Yeah, well, that's R&B guitar in general, right? It's it's less is more, right?
Actually, no, more is more, because with R&B guitar, it's at least in the way that exists nowadays, it's not only chords, but it's melody, and then it's also playing embellishments. So taking a chord and then sliding a note in that chord really fast. I would play it on my guitar if I had my guitar, but
Sure. I know
I don't
you
want to put the audience through that again. you know?
Oh.
But yeah, man. I mean, I love this song. This is not written by Usher. It's written for him, which is partially what makes me think it blew up so much because it was label approved, I guess, if you want to say.
Prescribed.
Right. And, you know, it is very promotional, and it has a certain air of promotionality to it because of the lyrics, I would say. But it's still it's so much fun. The fun overrides the meaning on this one for me. Sorry, you know? And it's a cool progression as well. But I'm sorry, what were you going to say?
This is a summer jam then, right? Like this.
Yeah.
So when did it come out?
This was a huge hit in May of 2001 was when it was released. And I think it went platinum more than a couple times. But, you know, it's a staple chord progression of R&B as well. It's the minor 4, minor 5, minor 1, which is just interesting to me as a theory dork because it's natural minor instead of harmonic minor, which that's the one we'll usually hear.
Right.
I can't think of a song right now that uses harmonic minor, but
they only use because the minor 5, that's the thing right there, right?
Yeah.
Like, the reason you use harmonic minor is so that you get a major 5 sound, like a dominant quality, right? Because the leading tone. But if you don't have that, it's a lowered 7th. Then you get the minor 5, which is not as common.
It's just not very strong. Like it's not a strong resolution
because the leading tone wants to go to the tonic, right, to the 1, right, and wants to be really powerful, and you don't have that. So, you know, whatever.
It's kind of like you float back to the 1, and that's the thing about this song is it's very cyclical, so it just goes over and over again.
Yeah,
but it's so interesting, and I love this.
It sounds
song.
great, man. It's a great beat, great everything. It's awesome.
I appreciate it. Well,
I mean,
Justin,
it's Usher. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
It's Usher.
yeah, man.
I love Usher.
Yeah, me too.
All right, I'm gonna take a left turn here,
okay,
just a little bit.
Yes.
I mean, Juice World, Usher. It's like they're the same person, right? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But my pick was released in July 2020, and it's "Wishing Well" by Juice WRLD.
Let's check it out.
It's stress on my shoulders like an anvil. Perky got me itching like an anthill. Drugs killing me softly, Lord hell. Sometimes I don't know how to feel. Sometimes I don't know how to feel. Let's be for real. If it wasn't for the pills, I wouldn't be here. But if I keep taking these pills, I won't be here. Yeah, I just told y'all my secret. Yeah.
It's kind of a like truth revealed song.
Yeah, and that's why I like how you picked this one. That was really interesting and clip-wise too.
Right? So the Legends Never Die album came out after his death.
Interesting.
So the thought process that I always have is he freestyles everything. Even this song, every single bit of it was freestyled. So would they have chosen this song if he was still alive? You
I don't
see,
know.
because it's like kind of a revealing, I just told you my secret, because if I take these pills, I won't be here. But if it wasn't for the pills, I wouldn't be in the position to freestyle that I am.
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. And I like how he says, I just told y'all my secret right after that. And it's so like, it makes you really
so
think about the existentialism behind Juice WRLD and his thought process. Because it's like, he was so aware that he was dying that he almost like planned it in a sense. Not literally planned it, but like he knew what
destiny or like
he
manifest
knew the
destiny.
road. Yeah.
Manifest destiny, where it's like you kind of know your fate and you just kind of do it. You know, like you kind of go along with it, like
Right.
accept it.
He talks about that, and then he's like, I'm not going to tell you that, though. He's like, I'm going to tell you I'm absolutely fine. I'm good.
Yeah.
And that's his external, but his internal mind, his internal mental health, that's what this song is all about.
I like the line, I stopped taking the drugs and now the drugs take me.
Yeah.
I think that's great. Struggling artist with drugs, musician artist with drugs. It's nothing new. And some of the greatest musicians ever were struggling with hard drugs. Right?
Kind of the new spin of it, though, is he says, Perky got me itching like an anthill. That's
Percocet?
If you're hooked on opiates like that, and that's like that modern take of it, man, that line just hits so much hard.
Yeah. It's just like, it just reminds me of the jazz age when they were all doing heroin.
Yeah.
And like some people were like, if they don't have the junk in them, they're just not as good. Like the artists who kicked the habit, and then put out music, so many people are like, they don't sound as good.
Well,
and like Anthony Kiedis is another example of Red Hot Chili Peppers. They say like after he quit, like the music just wasn't as good. It wasn't the same. It wasn't as eclectic and.
Well, it's
messed up.
The interesting thing about drugs and musicians is I think it pulls from this like dark energy, like this chaos and creative energy. And I think creative energy kind of does come from chaos or like negative, bad things.
Sure.
Like, for example, I mean, Juice WRLD is talking about his pain. He's living his pain and then expressing that pain through song. I think artists have done that in a variety of forms, whether it's about love or whether it's about mental health or whether it's about treachery in the world or, a variety of things. But I think actually a lot of creativity comes from this chaotic, dark energy is what I'm going to call it, even though I don't really know how to explain it because it's something intangible.
Yeah, it's that negativity, and then you want to replace it with positivity. So as low as you can go is as high as you can go, and vice versa.
Right. So that expression is like the positive aspect. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Justin, the song came out in summer of 2020.
2020, July.
Okay, it looks like it's got quite a few views on Spotify.
644 million.
Pretty popular.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all Spotify views.
Yeah,
so like
right.
your Sublime had
Sublime,
144.
Yeah, you can't really count that because they sold over 10 million records.
Exactly. So I kind of give the nod to the Sublime song.
I'm
more
sure
in popularity.
It's also been out. Let's see here, 24 years longer.
Yeah.
So-
I guess.
And it's been used in pop culture too, so that's the thing.
Yeah, it's used in movies and stuff all the time.
Right.
So, but still, 644 is nothing to
No, and then the music video, it was created 6 months after the release of the album, so they got a lot of time to do an animated version of Juice WRLD and have expressions on his face, and it's kind of gave the fans like another version of seeing Juice WRLD for the last time.
Maybe a little bit of closure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what we all picked for our 4 that we adore summer picks.
This list could be so long. I mean, I was just listing some of the things that we could mention, and the list is crazy long.
Well, technically, we could have listed anything from Kendrick Lamar's album.
Yeah, really. I mean, there's so many great albums that came out in the summer.
But you got to think of songs that are iconic, especially during a summer period of time.
So we kind of compromised on this tune. Literally, we could have drawn out of a hat about 50 other options too.
Yeah,
But
maybe bringing something back, a song that's bringing
let's bring
something
back a song by Justin Timberlake called "Sexy Back." Let's check it out.
Okay.
Take it to the chorus. Come here, girl.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Come to the back.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
VIP.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Drinks on me.
Go ahead,
Let
be
me see
gone
what
with
you're
it.
twerking with.
Go ahead, be gone with
Look
it.
at those hips.
Go ahead, be gone with
You
it.
make me smile.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Go ahead, child.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy up.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy up.
Go ahead, be gone with it.
Get your sexy
Go
out.
ahead, be gone with it.
I remember this song. This is so nostalgic for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we're bringing sexy back, guys.
gosh, I remember this from literally when I was like 7. I feel like I remember I was at a cabin or something and we were listening to the song. I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah,
Well, take it to the chorus.
take it to the bridge. Yeah, it's. I mean, Justin Timberlake is super talented.
Yeah.
Great at like writing music too. Great performer, great dancer. He's got that Michael Jackson performer thing, where it's like he's kind of got that superstar thing going on. It's so rare to have like that status. But
I mean, superstar everywhere. I mean, it was number 1 in almost every single country.
yeah, like the mega superstar, which
Wow.
is very rare, very rarely happens. And I don't know, just like everything he's done ever since he left NSYNC. Everything he's done.
He
has
had to
been
leave in sync though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But everything he's done since then has been so good.
Well, and then nowadays, though, I don't really hear that much from him. I feel like he's probably trying to get out of the limelight a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he's done some acting. Oh, by the way, he's a great actor too. You ever seen the movie?
Fantastic actor.
If you watch the
Holy
movie
crap.
Alpha Dog, oh my God,
Yeah.
he's amazing in it.
I could see it. I mean, like, usually when someone is really talented in one thing, they can be good at other things too.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it,
Musicians becoming actors is nothing new.
Well,
That's been going on forever.
but that's true.
It
Johnny Depp.
takes a real artist to be an actor.
Yeah.
Taking shots at you from earlier.
I
Jack.
know, because I said I don't think
But this song, This particular song, though, it's catchy. It's simple in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
There's not a lot to it.
There's not a lot to it. He completely brings sexy back.
He does, but he doesn't.
Him and Timberland,
But that's
which
saying
we
something,
haven't.
right? Saying something. Like,
mentioned
he doesn't
yet.
have to do a whole bunch to do that, right? Like it's really there's not much of a bass line going on here. It's really very little synth bass. There's drums, obviously.
Yeah.
Very minimal though. Really, it's just
But it's intoxicating.
it is. It's like I said,
Yeah.
simple. Less is more in this situation.
It definitely fits into all the other music that was being made at the time, because I was like at my cabin yesterday listening to some like early 2000s or later 2000s, early 2010s hits, and oh my god, I was just taking a trip down memory lane, and I was reminded of how much I didn't realize how like rave heavy these songs were back in this era, like from like 2005 to 2015. God, they're all like rave songs, like LMFAO's kind of music, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's moving now to more EDM type stuff, and then it will change again.
Yeah. But then we're also getting like the Lizzo track, like we heard earlier, which is like more
Just
real
good music,
instruments and
yeah.
mixed in some synth. But
That's funk.
yeah, it's just straight up funk. And this song is like more ravey, yeah, 4 on the floor. But it's simple because they want it to be danceable. They want it to be easy to digest as a listener. You know what I mean? But because his voice does some cool things, there's all these cool layering effects.
Yep.
That's where the magic's really happening for me.
And that's the production by Timbaland.
Right. And I don't really love the little Timbaland chime-ins as much.
Oh my god, they make the
But take it to the chorus.
They're okay, but
and take it to the bridge.
Yeah.
Take it to the bridge.
I don't know. I guess it's not
Who's
doing
singing?
much for me. Like, like really, what's my focus? My pull is on Justin's stuff that he's doing, Justin Timberlake stuff. So and your
My stuff?
your stuff,
Yeah.
definitely.
Your stuff too.
Yeah.
Either way, though, it's a great tune. It's a very easily digestible, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah. So this has been the Cheap Shot Music Podcast.
Download or stream this episode wherever you get your podcasts.
Please leave a like and or a comment on our social medias. It's greatly appreciated.
And thank you everyone for listening.